before I begin, I just want to preface that I've called this Speed Date with a Book based on the quickness that I'll be giving these book reviews, and also inspired by a blind date with a book. I'm not claiming to have come up with this, I'm sure other people have done this many times. If I am infringing on a trademark, please tell me. Do not sue me, I have very, very little valuables. Welcome to Speed Date with a Book, where I'm going to be giving you very short book reviews based on some books that I've engaged with. I say engaged with because there's some on here that I did DNF. I'm not particularly a DNFer, however there are two, I believe, in this pile in front of me that there's no chance I was finishing them. There's not really going to be much of a theme with these books, they are kind of just ones that stuck out to me and I pulled them from my shelf. But I'm just going to be giving you maybe a brief synopsis and my kind of experience with it and what I think of it and if I would recommend it to you or not. The first one that I have on my list is one that I've most recently finished. I'm actually doing a reread of this series and I cannot believe anyone that says they've not read this. The Hunger Games. I know it's very on topic right now because of the new film coming out. However, if you haven't read this, what are you doing? This is one of the surprisingly easiest reads ever. It's very fast paced and I just found myself literally turning the page even when my eyes were dropping to sleep. And I did read this years ago when I was a lot younger, but I haven't read it in a long time, and I haven't read Sunrise on the Reaping yet because I told myself I wanted to do a reread of the series before I read it, and now the film's coming out, but I want to read the book before I read the film, so now I have to hurry up. I don't even need to give you a synopsis of this, you know what happens, read it. Next, I have another very recent read of mine, and that is A Treachery of Swans. This is a Sapphic Swan Lake retelling, and when I heard that premise, I purchased this immediately. And it did sit on my shelf for quite a while because I'm not really a hardback girly, but I picked it up recently and I was just absolutely enamoured. I fell in love. It was amazing. It's got all the charm and whimsy of a fairy tale retelling and it's sapphic, so obviously I read it. And I do recommend this to anyone. It's got a bit of something for everyone. It's got that like comedic male side character, it's got murder mystery, it's got a gothic atmosphere, it's got magic, it's got a good story to it. There's actually stuff in here that's not just these two women falling in love. It has a good like royal intrigue plot, which I really, really enjoyed. And look at that cover. Isn't that just an absolutely gorgeous cover? So yes, I would definitely recommend this and I would go on a second date with it. Powerless. Don't waste your time. In the dating world, I would call this book a catfish, a scam. I would definitely recommend that you read these two books, and if you've already read these two books, then you've read Powerless. You don't need to waste your time. And you're probably thinking, Ellie, if it's so bad, why do you have a copy? Let me explain. I bought this secondhand around, I think, when it was published in 2024. If it was published in 2024, I can't remember, but I bought it when it was still well received. Let me find the exact page. I DNF'd this book on page 11, which you might be thinking, wow, that's like 10 pages, at least you got into it. Let me show you where page 11 is. Chapter 1, page 11. I need to be nice because some people like it, some people definitely do like it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, of course, except this one. I just can't support downright plagiarism. I'm very upset that it's been allowed and it's been enabled as well. Like it's not a secret now that this is very, very heavily plagiarized from Red Queen. I am going to get rid of this. I'm probably going to throw it away or donate it. It's just been stashed in my storage room for a really long time, so that's why I still have it, if you're wondering. Don't waste your time. You've read this before in everything else, and if this is on your bookshelf, the other two books are probably on your bookshelf. Next, following that similar kind of YA fantasy vibe, is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I can't remember when I read this. I think maybe January last year, and I read all three books in this series and all three books in Once Upon a Broken Heart in I think about a week. They're very easily digestible. They have a lot of charm, a lot of whimsy. The language is very captivating. It does definitely pull you in. When I first read these, I thought they were revolutionary and they were just my favourite thing in the whole world. Even at the time, I preferred this one to the second two because this isn't a spoiler, but this first one follows Scarlet and then the second two follow her sister Donatella, and I didn't really like Donatella that much. I definitely preferred Scarlet. However, the more because this was like one of the first book talk kind of books that I read, and the more that I've read now, I've definitely lost my relationship with this one. I would still recommend it, especially if you're a young adult. You are like the perfect audience for it. However, if you're looking for a story that has a really intriguing and complicated plot or very strong female characters, I don't think this is for you. The characters are very stupid. They are very, very stupid. And a lot of stuff happens for the sake of happening, and it doesn't really make sense. So there is definitely a lot to love, and Stephanie Garber can definitely write. She's really good at writing, and she really does trap you in. However, the female characters in this, the men as well, the men are just as stupid, but obviously because you follow the two female main characters, they're just not compelling, and I wouldn't, if another one came out, I wouldn't read it. Like A Mirror of Infinite Endings is coming out for Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I'll probably read that because I did enjoy that a lot more. However, if a new novella came out with this, I wouldn't read it. Now, I need to take a breath with this next one, because this is like if you were to go on a speed date with a criminal. Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. This is a novella of Caraval. Yes, I did just say if there was a novella I wouldn't read it. This came out I think around the same time that I've read Caraval, so I didn't have to wait for it, and I was still very much in that like world of where I really loved it. So I picked this up. What can I even say about this that's nice? The drawings are very cute. I like this opening page is nice. I do like this opening page. I haven't written from the library of Ellie because I'm ashamed of it. I don't want to throw it out because I spent money on it. Now, the art style, very, very cute. It fits the theme of that kind of I'm sorry. I'm just like, I've just had all my initial feelings from when I read this book rush back to me, and I feel sick. First of all, I just want to say this is absolutely no hate to everyone who liked this, because I know that there are people who liked it. However, I truly, truly, truly hated this. If you've read it, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you've not read it, I would have to do a whole separate video on why I hate this so much. Basically, the premise is Donatella, which is the sister that I didn't really rate that much. I can't even remember with the actual plot because I'm so overpowered by the romance plot of this. It was so... I can't say that. It was very adjacent to very dark romance tropes, which this is a YA book. It's very young, it's very whimsical and fun, and oh, mystery, what's happening here? Oh, what's she doing? Like, this just really flipped the tone for me in a way that made me very uncomfortable. I didn't like it. I didn't like some of the drawings that accompanied some of the stuff that happens, because I think this character's like 17 in this, I think. It just made me very, very uncomfortable. Like, yeah, I don't like it. It's creepy. I didn't like it. I don't recommend it. If you haven't read it, don't read it. Now, I need to bring back a bit of a lighter mood to this. So, The Cruel Prince. I know that it's not as divisive, like loads of people did truly love this, but some people don't. I'm on the side of people who loved this. Jude is one of my favourite FMCs that I've ever read. I truly loved her. Although it is because a lot of people's complaints was that it wasn't very romance heavy. Like, it was a lot more political intrigue than it was romance, and that's why I loved it so much. I've only just realised that my camera's been slowly tilting. Is it doing it again? Oh my god. Okay, there we go. I've had to slightly readjust it. It probably looks like shit. But yes, I loved this. I loved Jude. I loved the amount of political intrigue. I do love this, and I do recommend it. It's, again, quite easy to read. It's not very hard to understand. So I definitely recommend it. I think I chose this one in light of the announcement of it being a movie adaptation.
I really liked this. It reminded me, a lot of people say it's very fanfiction-esque, like the writing sounds quite fanfiction, and it definitely did remind me of that, but I love it.
It definitely did remind me of a more fanfiction-esque style of writing. However, it didn't really stop me from enjoying it. I read this very, very quickly, and I do love Aaron Warner. He's probably maybe one of the only book boyfriends that I can really get behind, because I'm not a fan of any of the others really. But I did really like this. I think I only read up to Ignite Me. I don't think I read any more. So fake fan. I do have some of the other ones, I just didn't get around to reading it. I think after I read Ignite Me, I'd kind of had enough of the world. I didn't really want to go much further than that. I will say I loved the characters and it was very easy to read. It was very fun. Like it was very fun and it was very reminiscent of that 2012 kind of dystopian. So I think that's why a lot of people love it and I would definitely recommend it. The next one I'm about to show you is my second DNF. I almost feel bad bringing this up because I remember following the author when she was getting her book deal and announcing it, and I was so happy for her. I didn't really know much about the premise, I didn't watch that much, but I mainly followed the actual publishing process of the book. However, I picked up the book because of the gorgeous sprayed edges, and I think I DNF'd after a couple of chapters. It just, in my opinion, poorly written. The male main character's name pissed me off so much. This is a complete personal thing. I'm not saying it's bad. It just truly pissed me off and I didn't like it. And that is Close Protection. Beautiful spine. Look at that beautiful spine. Look at the sprayed edge. So cute. Romance between a bodyguard and the person that he protects. And I remember the author saying that she originally wrote it to be adult, but then it had to get aged down a little bit. But even then, I feel like I couldn't imagine this being an adult story unless she changed absolutely everything, because the writing style, I just couldn't get behind. I really didn't like it. Oh, I got to chapter 3. So yeah, I read 2 chapters. The love interest's name is Milos Petrov. And to me, it just screams, hey Google, give me a Russian name. I didn't like it. It really put me off. It really took me out of the world. So maybe I'll give it another go, but I don't know. I didn't like the writing and I don't think I could sit with it for an entire book. Personally, I'd say if you liked that kind of bodyguard and, you know, the one that they protect romance, then maybe give it a go. I'm not sure. I can't properly say because I didn't try with it, because I think I would have killed myself if I had to. But I'm not going to say no because it might be your thing, you might love it. The last one that I've got here is one that is very divisive. I absolutely love it. However, a lot of people don't like it, but I understand why a lot of people don't like it. And that's I Who Have Never Known Men. If you want dystopian book centered around women that just answers all these really cool questions, this is not for you. There's so many unanswered questions and that's what frustrates people most of all. So many people hated the amount of unanswered questions. And although it is a very short book, it's quite a heavy read because of how bleak the tone is. There's not much hope in it. It's very hopeless. You don't get many of your questions answered. You don't get the big question answered. You don't get some little ones answered. So I definitely understand why people didn't like it. However, I love it. I think it was hopeful enough that I could keep reading, but definitely hopeless and devastating and bitter and bleak. But that is why I loved it. I do prefer, sometimes I understand if you're not in the mood for it, but sometimes I do prefer quite a devastating read. And that's how I would describe it. It was just devastating. And when you get to the end and you flip the last page and you realise, oh, that's it. Well, what was the point? But I think that's the point. So I'd say give it a go. Again, it's a short read. I loved it, so I would go on a second date. So have it, guys. That was my very quick speed dating with a book. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's been insightful. I hope you can agree with me on some, and if you disagree with me on some, don't tell me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.